just in case, because there's only two, because if I run out, I need another. Hello everybody, it is December 19th. It is the 19th day of Vlogmas. My name is Melanie. Welcome. I finished my Christmas sweater, guys. It's done. It's so done. She had a little bath this morning for a blocking session and she's currently on the mat drying. So I'm really excited about that. I purposely didn't pull or stretch too much. I think because it's an alpaca yarn, I used Drops Air to knit this thing. I think it's going to be quite sort of losing its shape quickly anyway, so I'm just going to leave it as is. So I just gently blocked her and then squished all the water out and then put her on the drying mat, and then we'll see. The pattern I used is the Wintersoul Sweater by Dorothy Offeciers, and I see that recently quite a few people have started knitting this sweater, so I'm excited that it's being picked up, so that's really nice. I do think mine looks a little bit different than most people. It's really intended as an oversized sweater, but I used 4mm needles instead of 5mm needles, and I could have knit the XL size, but I knitted the L size. So, and I'm generally a tight knitter anyway, so mine is a little bit more snug, which is totally fine. I also opted to make 3/4 sleeves instead of full sleeves. So, well, actually they're more half sleeves than 3/4 sleeves, but they're a little bit shorter than most people's, but I think it's nice. I think it's going to be a good Christmas sweater. I think the sleeves are going to keep me from overheating, so that would be nice because I feel like I'm really warm lately. It's probably because I've got a bit of a cold, but who knows. Anyway, as soon as I finished my sweater last night, the plan was to move on to the sweater that I'm knitting for my son, but I just did not have the brain space to cast on for the sleeves. So I picked up my Sophie hood last night and I worked on that for a little bit. Only a little bit, because the ribbing of the sleeve for my Christmas sweater did take quite a long time. Anyway, so I'm currently at this sort of awkward stage in the Sophie hood. This is supposed to be the hood, and then I'm just knitting sort of like the other side, and then on this side we're going to be stitching, and this is where my face will pop out eventually, hopefully. So I'm really still very happy knitting on this. It's very nice and warm and soft. I'm using a dreamy acrylic yarn from a store called Zeeman in the Netherlands. Yeah, I have one that's still in the ball band. So this is what it looks like. I really like this color. I'm very happy with this choice. And yeah, so I knit for a bit on this last night, just because this was the only thing that my brain could handle at that time. I still have a bit of a cold. I'm not feeling my absolute best, which is a bit annoying. I was meant to be knitting on my flax sweater. I'm knitting this for my son. I'm currently on this sleeve. I'm not very far just quite yet, but I'm going to make this a Weasley sweater, and his name starts with an O, so I'm going to add the initial O to this sweater. The problem is the O as a letter is nice, but it also looks like a circle or a zero. And I really wanted to prevent this being a sweater with a circle or a zero on the front. And so I messed about with Stitch Fiddle a bit this morning. And I got to this design. And I hope it's going to work out. I have some gold yarn that I'm going to use to duplicate stitch this onto this sweater, and I think it's going to look nice. We don't know, but I hope it will be fine. And if not, it's just duplicate stitching, so we can always remove it later if it's not what we want. So that is good. This is going, it's going. It's not super fast, but I did put in, because I had some really long needles, or at least a long cable for the needles in here. I'm not sure why, but it was like my longest one. So I think that's like 120 centimeters. And then this morning I was like, why am I like struggling with this super long cable needle? It's not necessary. I have interchangeable needles, I have more cables. So I put in a shorter one. I do like using, what's this, magic loop to knit in the round. I just find it enjoyable to sort of know where I'm halfway through a round. So I quite like this method of knitting. So I didn't put in my absolute shortest needle. I just put on this one. This one's fine. And then this afternoon I went to the stores to go get some Christmas presents. So what I usually do is I go to the, during the year when I'm in a store and I see something that's interesting, I'll pick it up if it's a good price, and I'll put it in the back of my closet. And then at the end of the year, I sort of make a tally of, okay, what do I have and who am I missing presents for? Unfortunately, apparently everything I like is the same thing as my 6-year-old niece. So which maybe says a lot about me, but I think I keep buying things where I'm like, ooh, this is not very expensive, and this is something like my inner child really likes. And I want to buy it, but I can't buy it for myself because I don't need Barbies, but I enjoy buying stuff for her. My whole cupboard is filled with toys for a 6-year-old, and that left some gaps for other people. So I did that today. And then in one of the stores, I ran into this yarn, which is another acrylic, but it's like super sort of almost metallic rainbow sparkly yarn. And I thought, would a 6-year-old like a Sophie hood if I make it in this? Because I think she would. I don't know, I was just mesmerized by this. There were only 2 of them left, and so I just bought both. Just in case, because there's only 2, because if I run out, I need another, and who's going to find this anywhere? So I just bought 2 of these. If you're in the Netherlands, I got these at Action, and I cannot remember the price, but it cannot have been much money, because it's always quite cheap there. They were probably around €2 something per ball. And I think the brand is Alison and May. I know there's more stores in Europe that carry that brand, and it's everything plastic, metallized fiber, and then what's the length? What's the length? Come on. Oh, here we go. It's 250 grams, 600 meters. So this is probably good enough for one Sophie hood, but I think they're good for kids, really, because kids don't always like to wear hats or scarves, but I think if you make something like that, they will like it. This is my theory. And they can put the hat on, and then when they get too warm, they can just pop it off, and it's not they don't lose that. So I think that's like a really good idea for kids. Yeah. So that's just what I'm going to do. I think that'll be fun. Other than that, I need to go to the letterbox to, what's that? The letterbox? The post box, the thing to, I wrote some of my Christmas cards, not all of them. I left it too late, and I know the ones that need to go out, like out of the country, are not going to be there in time. So since they're not going to be in time for Christmas, I'm just leaving them to deal with later this weekend. The ones that could possibly still be on time for Christmas, I wrote those and stamped them. I don't have enough stamps, so, but I realized stamps are really expensive. It's crazy. It's like €1.31 for a stamp, and then if you do like the December stamps, it's like €1.20 for a stamp. So I don't think I'm going to do Christmas cards next year. I think I'll just do e-cards or something, because it is a ridiculous amount of money, really, to be sending somebody. It's just a card. It's not anything special. But anyway, so I'm expecting this will be the last year. And then some of them have to go outside of the country, so to the UK or Sweden and stuff. I don't even want to know how much money that is. It's crazy, really. Now, I think it must be less expensive in other countries than it is here. I feel like we're just getting ripped off by the post office in the Netherlands. Anyway, I think it's time for me to, so I'll take those to the post office, get some food, and then I need to sit down and have a cup of tea and do some knitting, because I'm a little bit tired from running around town doing all the bits and bobs for Christmas, to be honest. It always takes up so much energy, doesn't it? It's crazy. But yeah. Oh, I saw the funniest thing. I'll put a picture in. It was like a fuzzy steering wheel cover. Those things cannot be safe. They cannot be safe. Like, how does it make sure that, like, what if you're in an accident and the thing sort of like whoop, floops loose from your steering wheel? I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious. Pink fluffy steering wheel cover. Anyway, hope you're having a lovely Friday, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to my nephew's birthday in Rotterdam. And my sister is there, and she's a knitter, so maybe Steph, you can get out some of your knits, and then I can show everybody what you're working on. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye.